going on, guys? Welcome to the video. Today we're going to be reacting to something very, very special. I have been waiting on this to drop for a minute now, and I'm very fortunate because Tristan, the artist behind this project that we're about to listen to, sent me a link so I could listen to it early. Because, well, any of you guys who have, been in any of my streams will probably recognize Tristan, especially the Putting Y'all On streams. He's got a very, very unique style to his production. He's got such a creative mind when it comes to flipping samples and, drum programming and things like that. You're gonna see, you'll hear it in the music. And so I was just super excited when he said that his album was gonna be dropping and he wanted me to listen to it. And your boy, he's got an in, so he he got early access to the project, man. But I'm super hyped because I have not heard this yet. It's going to be a first reaction, and Tristan is a producer, so for somebody who is as production oriented as myself, this is going to be a blast to sit down, listen to, take it apart, pick it apart, and kind of point out some of the more interesting details in some of these tracks that maybe, just maybe, some of you guys might not notice when you listen to this. So I'm calling him Tristan, but his artist name is TRISTANTHEEND, all caps, one word. At least that's what it is on SoundCloud and on his Instagram. The links to his social media, to his SoundCloud, to this project on Bandcamp and SoundCloud is all going to be in the description if you want to go check him out and support him. And be sure to do so. And the project's name itself is pumpkinfire may2000. It's about 15 minutes long. It's 7 tracks. I'm sure they're wonderfully produced, but we're going to jump into it, man. Let's see what he's got for us. Track 1 is called Shine, and man, I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, but it's with Mosiah Ade. Mosiah Ade. Mosiah Ade. Please let me know, Tristan, how to pronounce that. But I want to say it's Mosiah Ade. That's what I want to say. So let me know if that's correct. But yeah, like I said, track 1 is Shine. Let's see what this sounds like. Oh, man. Where do you find these samples, dude?
Felt the smoke within his body while he writing rings down. A nigga hoping that he makes something. Just let the fear leave.
Wow.
Saw the mirror, cried for hours, let the fear leave. His belief when he raised up with the mirror vision. What his life could be. Divine destiny. Stay on course till the time's testing me. Never cocky, cause his body that I'm in a carbon copy from the source.
Wow. The contrast to the mood here and the mood that we were just in during the verse is pretty cool too, man. Cool, dude. Really cool. Okay, so Shine. There's contrast between the way that the track feels and the actual title, because there's nothing too particularly bright or vibrant or happy sounding, when you get actually into the meat of the song, where Mosiah is, performing his verses. But the intro and the outro, right, bookend this track with some really cool samples. That's where the vibrance and the colors, kind of come in. Because during the verses, there's really no drumming. It's all just sample chops. And that kind of gives me like a ka kind of feel. There's no drums in the production. It's very oriented on the lyricism that's being, performed on the track. And all the production is doing here is really setting a nice foundation, a really nice base for the verse that's being performed over it. And the artist also does a great job of leaving that space towards the beginning and the end for the production to kind of shine and, pun intended there, and seep through those little bits of happiness, those little bits of color and life in this track. He manages to, stay away from that and keep his verse to the middle sections and let the production bookend this track and kind of enclose the song and leave it, kind of in one coherent element, I guess. You know, what am I trying to say? Like it feels like there's a beginning and an end to this. It feels enclosed. It feels like if you drop this as a single, for example, it would feel appropriate. There's nothing that feels like it's unfinished here. It kind of feels like it wraps itself up nicely, and there's like a sense of closure. That's the word I'm looking for, with the fact that there's a production, at the beginning and at the end to finish this off. That's really cool. That's really cool. The contrast, like I said, between the happier portions and the sadder portions are really, really nice. That one's relatively simple, though, compared to some of the other beats that I've heard from you, Tristan. So we'll see what you bring with track 2, Borrowed Planet.
Cry with silly tears of gold and watch the sun gleam off the river mirror. We just pray the earth provides for us. My spirit reach into the sky for signs of dialogue. It's local, me and Rastafari, I want to riot, cause cry with silly tears of gold and watch the sun gleam
Man,
off the river mirror.
it's such a nice little touch, man. Those vocal chops. How spacious are these drums, man? Look at that. The stuttering is such a crazy effect. It sounds like these drums are part of the sample, and they're slowed down along with the sample. This part feels so introspective. Oh, that sounds crazy reverse, dude. I love how organic everything feels too, with like the vinyl crackling in the background, right? That sound. It feels like, in a good way, dirty and antiquated and gritty. There's an effect that you get when you slow down a sample to a certain point where it sounds, for lack of a better word, yeah, dirty. It sounds like it's distorted, and it sounds like it's strange and weird because it's obviously way slower than it's meant to be played at, the original music. And the fact that Tristan just embraces it, the fact that he manages to make it his own and make it sound interesting and compelling, interlacing the track with those higher pitched vocal chops, the jittery kind of glitchy, artifacts in here. I mean, all of that is just so unique, really. It's different because, like I said, you're embracing the fact that it sounds strange. You're embracing that weird factor to it. So, Mosiah absolutely also does his thing on this. Very introspective feeling to the song. He's really keeping his performance super laid back and relaxed. Very fitting with the production on this. That's really interesting too. Nice bass line already. Oh, I love the sample chops.
On this blessed earth, I walk on my nigga in good riddance. Tied with the gods right ahead of me. You that God that never worried about a legacy. It's my pride that kept my eyes cloudy, shrouded. Thanks for the L's I took, no second guessing. In the bank of a river, pouring water on my back, voicing.
I'm lost in these horns right now, dude. To be honest with you.
Walk on my nigga in good riddance. To the flaws I choked on, still grinning, still.
I love this horn loop, dude, and the bass line. Really cool. Love the sample there. This is so weird, dude. This is exactly what I was saying. Tristan embraces the weirdness and, elevates it to like a whole new level, dude. But this one is actually, kind of more traditional sounding than the first two because it's really just the sample on a loop. The horns, they sound great. The samples are chopped. I could tell from the bass line where the sample chops kind of fell. But the horns sound awesome. The bass line sounds really, really cool. And again, Mosiah doing his best and doing a great job of it, of staying out of the way of the production and adding to it, you know what I mean? And not being a separate element to the production. The track all feels like it's one thing, right? Mosiah feels like he's a part of it. instead of just being a rapper over a song. He does a great job at layering his vocals. He does a great job at making sure his performance doesn't overpower anything in the rest of the track. And nothing in the track is overpowering his performance. Everything is just, there's a balance here, and you can choose to pay attention to, you know, each specific thing equally. You can focus on the horns for a little bit. You can focus on the lyricism. You can focus on the bass line, because everything has a specific place for it. I think that's awesome. Track 4 is My Heart. I love this chop already, dude. These guitars. Wow. Let's go. This is beautiful, bro. Oh, that bass is so groovy. Woo! God damn. I Can't Let You Break My Heart. That's a fire-ass sample, dude. That's my favorite so far. My cheeks hurt from smiling, man. I'm gonna text him right now. I'm texting Tristan right now, bro. There's no way. Something's wrong with this man. Something's wrong with this man. What in the world possessed him, dude? This is my favorite so far. I love that, like, this is just an instrumental track, but it feels like it's a song, honestly. Like the drums, the arrangements, the horns, the vocals, the, you know, everything about this, the way that he chopped it, the pitching, like, everything, the arrangements, perfect, dude. He's texting me back. Yeah, man. God, that's awesome. That's fantastic, dude. It's like he's showing off, you know, but he, you know, when you're this good, you kind of deserve to. So show off a little bit more, Tristan. Come on. Strike Me, also with Mosiah. And Oldman Freeman. Man, my heart was dope, dude. Woo! Let's go. Some R&B sort of vibes. Clean.
I spoken to the crowd and wonder who was really worse. My mans, you scared with the devastating finger, 7 deadly venoms, triple six government system. They overwatching and reviving.
Undeniably great, dude. Undeniably great.
Never gave up on a nigga. Prayed I made some when I blazed up. Put my cake up, how you figure?
These vocal chops, bro. This is like heaven sent, man.
But I keep moving. Steady lose. All the bruises, steady games, making shiesty movements. Couldn't lose.
A little bit of a key change there. I thought we were going into something crazy. Things are definitely picking up now at this portion of the album, dude. Definitely picking up. I love this. Very coherent. Cohesive? What am I trying to say? I think it's coherent, right? Because it makes sense. The progression that we're getting through, you know, this album. We started off with Shine, Borrowed Planet, and Take, which were, you know, way more laid back, not as heavy on drums, for example, not as... I mean, I don't want to say that they weren't as intricate, but they definitely weren't as bright. They weren't as, you know, catchy, I guess. I don't know what I'm really trying to say is they weren't as energetic, right? And then we hit My Heart and Strike Me, and things are picking up now, right? We had some really crazy, you know, instrumentation and arrangements with My Heart and the horns and the drums, and, you know, it was just super groovy. And now with Strike Me, there's actual drums over here. There's this R&B feeling. There's 2 verses on this from 2 different artists. I mean, we're definitely picking up a little bit. The energy here is like we're going to be riding a wave. And I wouldn't be surprised if with the next two tracks, things kind of die down a little bit again, so that we kind of have this, this rise and this fall of emotions throughout the project. I would not be surprised. Structure of the project is making absolute sense right now. Strike Me and My Heart are my two favorites so far. I love the instrumentation on both of these, man. They sound like less experimental, honestly. Experimental music isn't all the way for me, but they definitely still sound unique. They still sound like they have Tristan's, spin on it, but at the same time, they're a little bit more approachable. They're a little bit more traditional sounding, right? A page from Albrecht's Chapter, track 6. Tristan manages to make experimental music still sound so interesting to me. I was expecting another chop there. This sounds like I should be listening to it inside of like a haunted lighthouse for some reason. Maybe it's because I just watched, that part of, what's that movie called? My wife was watching Shutter Island the other day, and I caught the end of it, and it ends on that scene of like the lighthouse looking super creepy and ominous. I kind of have that image in my head as I listen to this. So clearly this person speaks whale, right? That's not jarring at all. Yeah, just everything that you just did right there is something that I would never think to do in any of my beats. That's why I love listening to Tristan's music, man. It challenges everything that I think I know about music and producing and genres and yeah, everything. Like we act like there are rules to making music, right? You have to stay within the key, you have to, stick to traditional time signatures, and you have to have your song structured in such and such a way in order for it to become a radio hit. And you see this happen over and over and over again, and we start to behave and make music as if there were rules to making it. And Tristan is just such a breath of fresh air, because what rules did he follow with that, He's just absolutely free in his creative process, and he just makes, honestly, whatever he wants to, regardless of whether or not you think it sounds good, and regardless of whether or not it follows a specific set of rules. If it's what he feels and if it's what he thinks is right, then it's going in the song. And just the fact that it's challenging that within me is definitely one of the reasons why I appreciate this so much. Is it the sort of thing that I'm going to have on repeat? Not necessarily, because like I said, this experimental sort of music is not really the kind of genre that I come back to, but the fact that it exists and the fact that I have the, access to it, and I can listen to it and feel challenged and feel inspired to do something different, I absolutely appreciate this for that, man. Absolutely. Really cool. Gold Tooth with Mosiah and True Scent is the last track. Oh, this feels a little old school right now.
Feel like shit not panning out, down but never out. Say that shit don't never last. I'll be stranded on the couch.
Hey.
I may pop out with a smile, but that's only on occasion. I said,
that vocal chop is a little too loud, I think, but it's fire.
Kid, I'm never coming down. I'm on a treetop, ducking from the pit.
I love this bounce.
Cities know how we rock. Know we getting busy, and all the moves that we made for making petty little loot that we pocketed. Careless, my prerogative. All that shit in gold, is you shitting me? Pray the sadness subside to the sun.
Let them know what they doing wrong if you see it. I always knew I was doing wrong. What about when they showed me long suffering? What about when they forgave me, but I can't forgive him?
And that is Pumpkinfire May 2000 by Tristan End. A lot of features from Mosiah Ade, so gotta shout him out too. We also had features from Oldman Freeman and some participation from True Scent, I believe. If I miss, any credits from anybody else, I apologize, but those are the ones that I can name off the top of my head. What an interesting project, dude, So as I'm sure you guys can understand now why I said that Tristan has a very unique production style. a lot of like Earl Sweatshirt kind of vibes, right? That's very strange, weird, no holds barred style of production. Not sticking to traditional rules, just very challenging, you know, very weird, and it kind of flaunts it, right? It's very kind of like in your face about it, about how strange it is, and it kind of forces you to try and understand it. It's not going to let you just hear it and ignore it or say, this just be dismissive. It's going to kind of stick around and make you feel like, okay, this is kind of different, but why? You know, why do I feel this way when I listen to this? What about this is making me think that it's strange? Why is it strange not to follow, you know, the traditional kind of patterns that we're used to listening to on the radio? Why are we conditioned to believe that that's a bad thing? Why, you know, and make you challenge your perceptions of, you know, music in general. And I love that about this, man. I love that about this. This sounds crazy. Honestly, it sounds crazy, right? It doesn't sound particularly pleasant, you know, although My Heart and Strike Me, right, Gold Tooth, they're a little bit more on that traditional sounding, normal kind of lane. You know, they're pretty easy on the ears, but for the most part, they're not here to be easy on the ears. They're here to force you to feel something, force you to think about something. And sometimes those things that you have to think about when you listen to this are uncomfortable or kind of unpleasant or, you know, dark. I mean, the artwork for this is perfect with the black background and just the strange artwork. And, you know, even that, it's art, and it's, when you look at it, you're going to have a subjective opinion on it and a feeling about it, and it's going to make you think of something. And that's what this is here to do, kind of. It's here to force you to be a little more introspective and to question things, question yourself, and try and understand, you know, the thought process behind this. Is, like I said, these are things that I would never find myself doing in a studio session. And so it's inspiring, it's motivational, it makes me want to produce, it makes me want to make music, interesting music that grabs people's attentions and kind of shakes them a little bit. You know, that's kind of what this does. So if you're down for a very interesting 15 minutes, check out this project and go support Tristan. Like I said, all the links are in the description, man, but I personally really enjoyed it. Tristan, thank you for the early copy so that I could get this video out. Just keep at it, dude. You know, I hope to see you in the streams, making more music, submitting more things for me to listen to, and to continue to make me challenge myself a little bit, man, because your music is super unique, and it's definitely the sort of music that makes you wonder a little bit, you know? So thank you so much. This was a pleasure to listen to, honestly. It definitely lived up to the hype that I gave it, you know what I mean? I had a blast. Thank you so much. Everybody who watched, thank you so much for watching. Shout out to my patrons for supporting the channel. Shout out to the members and everybody who's been donating in the streams and showing up and vibing with me for, you know, 2 to 3 hours every time I stream. I really appreciate you guys for the support that you're showing to the channel. We're very steadily growing and approaching that 20,000 subscriber mark. So if you're new, subscribe and help me get there. And yeah, I will see you guys later. Until then, stay safe. Peace out.